thank Anne-Marie for allowing me to be one of the first people to see her beautiful oracle cards that she has created, and to get a little bit more information about them, and to have the honor of interviewing her for these. So first of all, I would like to ask, so when did you first become a medium?
Oh, Kim, I'm an extra large. Look at me, I'm not a medium. No, I'm sorry, I always say that. I always like to laugh and joke.
And is medium the correct term, or
yes, psychic medium, clairvoyant, whatever term you want to use. But I like that medium one because it makes me, it helps me help people laugh. Yeah. Because then I always say, no, I'm an extra large. It works for me. I was born a medium. I'm in my mother's a medium. Her mother was a medium. We just come from a long line of mediums. So.
And so, why did you decide oracle cards? What got you into that?
Well, I didn't actually decide oracle cards, but you know, Spirit always has a plan. I thought I was going to design a set of tarot cards, but they ended up being oracle cards. Oh. It was just the way it evolved. Things evolve. You start with one plan, and it's like when in life, when you have a plan, you decide you're going to do this thing, and you end up doing that instead. You know, Spirit always has a plan. Spirit's always in the details. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have any inspiration or anything came to you when you were designing these cards? Did something?
Oh, well, I'm not an artist. Can't draw for toffee. So that was another thing. I was trying to find an artist to work with, and I thought, you know what, every deck I look at, I like some of the images, but not all of the images, and I sure as heck did not want any scary images. Right. I mean, I work with people. I want people to feel comfortable and relaxed. I don't want them to think, oh my God, there's a death card. What's going to happen? I don't want that. So I just looked for lots of different images and approached people about using them, and buying licenses and copyrights where necessary, you know.
Great. And so I think I remember you telling me a little story about when you were young and you wanted to make your own cards?
Oh, yes. I asked my mum, could I have a set of her older cards, and she said no. Because at the time I was going through the telekinesis teenage phase. She thought I was going to be frightened of what I would see or what I could do. So she goes, no, just stick with the spoon bending and the moving objects in the house. Don't be doing that for now. So I would kind of think, okay, I need cardboard to do this. So I snuck a couple of old soap powder boxes. I kept sneaking the soap powder boxes. The cereal boxes just weren't thick enough. It had to be the soap powder boxes. So Ariel takes it on, because we used to use Ariel soap powder. So it was really, really funny. So I cut them up, got rid of all the soap off them, and I just drew some images with a black magic marker. And to my amazement, and to the amazement of my friends, they worked. That was my first attempt at a deck.
Well, that's really great. So did you, so you didn't go on to make more? You just decided?
They worked. I worked with them for quite some time, and then, you know, like life takes over, and I started travelling, and then I ended up getting married, and then I had kids, and then I had some professional decks. You know, I'd work with regular decks, because at that point it was like, my mum couldn't tell me what to do no more. Right. If I wanted a set of cards, I was having a set of cards. And then I think I was like 23, 24 when I actually started reading properly, and then it was okay. I had her seal of approval. Oh, okay. So then I would try all different types of decks. I kept trying to find that particular deck that would really work for me. And like with probably a lot more psychics, you might use 2 or 3 different decks, you know, in the same session. It all depends on what you want inspiration on. And some people say, well, why do you have to use cards? I could read the phone book if I wanted. It's something that it connects with your sixth sense, and it helps you bring about what the message is that Spirit is trying to tell you. It's a focal point, and looking through that helps you determine where it is that Spirit is trying to tell you, you know.
And what makes your cards different than, say, all the other ones that you've been using?
Okay, well, most of the other cards, you have a psychic that writes the meanings, and you have an artist that draws the artwork. That was not my process. My process was let's look at hundreds and thousands of images to see which ones appeal to you, to see which ones speak to you. And then let's write a message about that. And I feel like Spirit was involved in all the details, because Spirit helped me choose the images to write the messages from. Yeah, to base the whole thing on. Yeah, it was over 2 years it's taken me to do this, first time round, yeah.
And you also work with crystals, so you
I do.
incorporate that in your...
Yeah, I work with crystals, I work with affirmations as well. My crystals, I mean, some people go, oh, you got something wrong with it, or take a vitamin, or, you know, they take a pill. Right. Well, you know, I've got a crystal for that. I've got a crystal for everything. I'm a crystal junkie, you know. It's just one of those things. Yeah. When I used to have my Sixth Sense Connection store, I had this big poster made and put up in the store that says, get stoned here, rocks only, no plants. But that's just, I mean, Spirit likes to laugh. Yeah. And it always helps if it helps people feel relaxed. And once you feel relaxed, you can connect with their energy a little bit more. And each stone has its own energy and has its own vibration. And whatever you're going through, there is a stone for it, most definitely. So I decided that not only would I write simple outlines of what the suggested meanings of the cards are, I would also write a good affirmation to go with them and suggested crystals. I could have gone really complicated with the crystals, but I chose to keep it to ones that would be easy to find and easily accessible. Yeah.
And so, you know, what would you say to people out there that you were saying, you know, that your cards, you try to keep them light and optimistic and not scary and stuff like that. Yeah. And that they might have had some kind of connection, or they might feel like they have some intuitive stuff going on, but they're too scared to explore that. What kind of advice can you give people to...
Well, I think the first thing is the living you've got to watch your backing off. You know, the dead won't hurt you. Yeah. And Spirit just wants to connect with you. I mean, he wants to connect with you in so many ways. I mean, you might look at the clock and see 11:11, or you might, you know, look out the window and see a couple of magpies. These are all messages. Spirit is at one with us and wants to be at one with us. A lot of people have lost that connection, and Spirit is trying to help us get that connection back. Hence the name, Sixth Sense Connection, Oracle cards, you know, because I wanted it to be able to connect us with the Sixth Sense so that we can be all that we can be.
Yeah, and not be scared about it.
No need to be scared. Right. No need to be scared. I mean, people go, oh, but what about all these bad spirits? Well, that's Hollywood. Come on. Would you watch a movie if you had really nice spirits in it? No.
Exactly. Right. Oh, good. So do you have any kind of inspirational teachers or any kind of people that you admired or that you've drawn upon?
The first one I really liked was Florence Scovel Shinn. I mean, she was at the turn of the century. She was writing books on affirmations and the power of positive thinking and how to take something that you're thinking and turn it around and make it positive. I mean, she was amazing. I loved her. And then another book that changed my life was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Because when I set about reading his book, I thought I was going to be some kind of business tycoon. I mean, I've done business. I've done good in business over the years. But once I finished reading that book for the first time, I decided I was going to become a professional psychic. And that was it.
Supposed to be, right?
Which is exactly who I was supposed to be, you know. And at different times in my life, I mean, when I first moved to the States, I stopped doing my psychic work, and that's another long story. But, you know, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. Yeah. And, you know.
That's great. And what would you tell, like, if somebody else out there was like, how would I start on this path? Like, you know, you got to... when you were young, you felt it and stuff like that. You were encouraged by your mother. But what about like people who, you know, want to get started? Do you have any?
And feel isolated, yeah. YouTube has some great videos. There's some great tutorials on there. Yeah. Don't be frightened of your own shadow. If you sense anything around you that feels a little negative, all you need to do is close your eyes and imagine that the room is filled with the most beautiful white, bright light. You can ask for Archangel Michael to fill that light with goodness and wholeness. And you know what happens then is darkness cannot survive in the light. I mean, darkness is just the absence of light. So light is the absence of darkness. You know, there's your yin and your yang. So you just have to flood the room with light. And if that presence is still there, and if you're still feeling that energy, guess what? It's a light being. It's one of your angels. It's one of your spirit guides. It's somebody good that you're picking up on.
And you're encouraging. How would you encourage them to just trust
I would ask them to trust that. You know, there's certain exercises that you can do, which a couple of them I've laid down in the guidebook, to actually protect yourself, so that you're only opening yourself to some of the higher energies. Yeah. Because like with everything else, I mean, there's high energies, medium energies, lower energies. You know, we can go to the dark side, or we can say, look, stay away from the dark side. I mean, we could do all kinds of things. Right. But you want to stay in the light. You want to be with light beings, and because, you know, chances are you're watching this because you are a light bringer in some way. And you're here to bring light and love and joy into other people's lives. Yeah,
that's okay. Is there anything else that you want to share with people that you know about your cards that are special, or anything else that you want to share with them?
Okay, well, with my cards, I tried the images have to speak to you. Well, they speak to me. So because they speak to me, I naturally assumed that they would speak to you. You can look at an image and you don't really need to look at the book. But when you come to looking at the book to try and figuring things out, it's not complicated. It's very, very simple. The pages in the book have got large text. So you don't need a magnifying glass to read them. Right. They're full colour on the inside. And with each card I've written an affirmation, because if that card represents you, and that's your energy of the day, and it's not necessarily where you want to be, then there's an affirmation to release that energy. And if it's where you want to be, there's another affirmation to encourage it, make it stronger.
Fabulous. Can I be so bold to see if you would do a reading for me?
Yes, of course. I'll do a little reading for you.
All right.
No worries.
Putting it out there for everybody.
No worries. Now, depending upon what's happening when you're doing a reading, either the psychic can shuffle or you can shuffle. It all depends. Okay. I don't do anything fancy with mine. I just
certain layouts or anything like that.
You can choose whatever layout works for you. There are no rules.
All right.
So if you like, we'll just do a little simple layout and see what's coming up for you.
Okay. And again, I'm like open. I'm being open to this. There's no fear.
Oh.
Wow. These are beautiful, beautiful drawings. Like she was saying, the images and stuff are very... I can look at them and I'll have a sense of what the card's about already.
And I'm just going to do this.
Oh my goodness. We got to learn.
Okay. And that, okay. All right. So what I'm seeing here, Kim, is first of all, we've got a hello from heaven. We've got a feather that says hello from heaven. So there is somebody that's watching over you right now, and I believe that is a grandfather energy that is watching over you right now, okay? And this is saying that you've had a lot of success in life, because this card is all about success. There's been a lot of success, although you're always wanting to do something different. You know, it's like, okay, I've been there, done that, want to do something different now. Okay? This is also saying watch for a hero type coming in. Yes. Now, you know what? You know, you need a hero, yes. So always remember with a hero type, they have to be the hero. So you have to step out the way when they go, yes, I can do this for you. Say, yes, have at it. Go do it.
Oh, okay.
You know, because many of us in this day and age are very independent and very strong, and that's cool. But when a hero wants to do something for you, just step out the way. Let him do it. Let him get on with it. Because, you know, all heroes want to be the knight in shining armour. And all girls want a knight in shining armour at some point. Right. You know, they know that they can solve all their own issues. But sometimes having a knight in shining armour to cuddle up to can be really, really nice, can't it? This is saying that the opportunity for that knight in shining armour is a little delayed. So there's something inside of you that needs to be released, forgiven, acknowledged, explored, or let go of. So maybe your thoughts about who this knight should be, or maybe that you don't really want a knight. Maybe you just want to pick somebody up, play with them for a little while, and put them back down. Who knows?
We're not telling you this
on
this video.
But it feels like that sometimes that if she gets that knight in shining armour, then she feels like it'll put her in a negative position. It'll put her in a prison. So she relishes of freedom. Now, because we've got a hero and because we've got a knight in shining armour, this is somebody else that relishes their own freedom. This is somebody that would say, been there, done that, worn that hat and t-shirt. No, I don't want to eat tea with you and then watch Coronation Street. You know, that's not my lifestyle either. You know, I want to do other things, okay?
Yeah.
Because this is saying, you know, I want to build a home with you. I don't want to drag you, knock you over the head and take you over to my cave. You know, it's not that kind of thing. It's like, I want to build a life with you. I want to build a future with you. So in order to acknowledge that a soulmate is coming in, and this is really dreamy, the soulmate's coming in, she's got to acknowledge the fact that change can be scary. And this is what I call my Arnold Schwarzenegger card, you know, of the Terminator. Come with me if you want to live, you know, that kind of thing. Because that's what she reminds you of, because she's like a medicine woman, and she just kind of, this is about as scary as things look. But, you know, change is scary. And whenever you find yourself getting too close to somebody, you have a tendency to pull back. But this is stating that, you know, your marriage, your union can be what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be like mum and dad's. It doesn't have to be like anybody else's. It's your union. You guys create it exactly the way that you want it to be. And it doesn't mean you going to work and coming home and cooking dinner and doing the laundry and doing the ironing. And, you know, it can be whatever you want it to be. You know, you can go off and save the world and do all kinds of things, you know. Or you could go acting someplace. There's lots of things that you can do. So don't stereotype marriage is the question. Don't stereotype having a good, fulfilling, happy relationship. Don't think that you have to have that stereotype of relationship. It's exactly what you make of it.
And then after doing this wonderful reading and a bit scary, the change, then I would look to see like what crystals to put in.
What crystals? Let's look at the change crystal, okay? Because we really, you know, that's the one thing that you've got to think about, is be willing to see things differently. And in order to be willing to see things differently, you have to think about change, okay? So your affirmation is, I'm willing to accept help to make positive changes. That means that we don't have all the answers. We can't have all the answers for change. We just have to take a leap of faith, okay? Now, some of the crystals that would help you with this is Amethyst, which I've got a piece here. Hematite, which is, it's kind of a silvery black stone, and it helps you obtain justice and get justice and be doing the right things, but I don't have one on the table. Moss agate, which keeps you grounded. You know, it's a nice stone. And lepidolite, which stops you from stressing out. You know, it's like, okay, I can do this with love, grace and ease. Because you're going into uncharted territory, and that's all good.
So then would I put like those crystals like in a little bowl,
well, you can put
them in...
Well, you need to touch them.
Just touch them.
You need to touch them.
And
Hold them, have them sat by you. If you're at work, have them on your desk in front of you, play with them frequently. You know, take them home with you, put them by you when you sat. Just keep playing with them, touch them. You need to touch them for the energy. Some people put them in a bag and put them in the bottom of the purse, and they're gone in the black hole. Oh, but I've got my crystals. It's kind of like buying a jar of vitamins and never taking one. You know, the intention was there. But, you know, you can put them down your bra. You can put them anywhere.
Do we even talk about that when you do with yours?
You can put your crystals anywhere. You know, as long as you have them on your person.
Okay, that's important. Well, thank you so much. That was really, really lovely, and it's just always so wonderful to be talking with you. And I can see that your cards reflect who you are as a person and your positive energy and your great spirit. And I just love being around you, and I wish you all the success with these. And I can't wait till I get mine.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine, Kim. Thank you so much.